Ooh, technical problems. Hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on. Oh, it's always this way. Right, let's just restart that. I can't get the stuff. Hey. Oh, wheel. Right, can we work now, please? Stand by. Stand by. Any minute now. Any minute now. Let's restart that. There we go. Oi, oi, oi. Right, I think we are there. One moment. If you want to take up streaming, folks, it's not as easy as it looks. The infestor have warned you. Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome. Welcome. Yes, I'm Foxx. Welcome. It is a new series. And of course, a new series has to start with catastrophe. But yes, it's a new series. It's Fox's Morning Nonsense. I hope you can all see me and hear me okay. Do let me know that you can see me and hear me. Yes, apologies for the slight hitches. I had some broadband issues, which started right after I pressed the go live button. So they've not been fixed, but I've dropped the stream down to 1080p and it should fingers crossed be all right. So yeah, hopefully. But if you can see or hear me, do let me know. Welcome, welcome. This is a new semi-daily series where I'll be doing stuff at the bench. It's partially to get me to the bench to do stuff, and partially because I miss doing live streams. I really do miss doing the live content. I miss you guys. So we are there. Can you all, anybody in chat there? Just let me know if you can see me. Let me put something in chat. Just need to double check because, you know, hang on, I can check on here, can't I? No, we don't appear to be live. Are we live? Oh, yes, we're live. Yes, there we go. Never mind, you don't need to let me know now. I don't know. Yes, if ever you want to take up live streaming, don't think it's easy. It ain't. Yes, it's a new, reasonably daily series where each morning I'll work on whatever I've got on the bench. And if there's nothing on the bench and nothing for me to work on, I'll just play some video games. But for the foreseeable next chunk of episodes, I'm going to be doing my part works because I've got a big backlog of my DeLorean. I've got a big backlog of the GT40. So I need to start working through those. Bill says 1. Can see and hear you. Lovely. Let me make sure I look and sound okay. Yeah, but yes, we're going to be working today on my Fanhome Back to the Future DeLorean. Once we get through all the back issues of this, then I'll go on to GT40. When that's then done, I'll go on to whatever I'm building and painting at the time. And occasionally, if I'm not in the mood for building and painting, or if I've got nothing to build because something's drying or something, I'll just play some video games. But it's going to be semi-daily. What I mean by that is I'm going to try and make it as daily as possible. But of course, there'll be times when I can't do one. And there'll be times when it's not possible for me to do a stream. So it should be, fingers crossed, most mornings. But stay tuned. So basically, just check each day. I won't necessarily post up every day that I'm doing a stream because that'll be daily and that'll get annoying. But most days, hopefully. Now Fridays are different. Fridays will be a Let's Play Friday. So Fridays will always be video gaming. And this week, tomorrow, we are going to start Far Cry 5. Yes. I know I've already started it before, but that was for patrons and members only. But now I've been able to mod it and I can take out all the copyright music. So it's going to be for everybody. I'm going to start from the beginning. But today we are working on the Fanhome 1/8 scale DeLorean Time Machine, which is a part work by the good folks over at Fanhome. There is a link in the description below the video. Now, before we get going, I do have to issue the usual disclaimer that this part work has been provided to me free of charge, no cost, gratis by the folks at Fanhome. Big thanks to them, so that I can show you, so I can talk about it and show you building it and stuff. So big, massive thank you to them. If you want this part work for yourself, I do recommend it. Go and check it out. It is coming along awesomely. As I say, there is a link in the description below the video. If this one doesn't tickle your fancy, Fanhome have got a lot of other stuff. They do basically licensed pop culture part works. They've got like a 1/2 scale or quarter scale R2D2. They've got the 3-foot, 2.5 foot tall Iron Man part work build. They've got this. They've got the Enterprise. They took up all the Eagle Moss part works when they fell over and went bankrupt. So they've got all that stuff. There's loads of different things and collections as well. And if you're not interested in these, but you fancy a part work, my good friends and sponsors at emodels.co.uk, your one-stop shop for your model making needs, do actually have some IXO part works in as well. But they're not part works. They're just done as you get a box with all the issues in. And IXO are these French guys who do some amazing like real world cars like the Renault 5, and they've got this funky Bugatti and some other ones. So go and check them out. And they've got a Subaru as well. Go and check them out. But yes, this is the Fanhome 1/8 scale DeLorean. Now, I have been filming this, but we'll get to that in a minute. But before we do all that, I need a big swig of coffee. Now, in a way that you can tell I've been doing live streams for a long time, In the old days, all the technical problems at the start of this stream, I would have been sweating cobs and out of breath. With this, I've not even broken a sweat because I'm so used to like things going wrong on live streams. Me and Colin, we know what we're doing. But let's have a quick look at the folks in chat. If there's any problems with the audio and the video stuff, do let me know. As I say, because of the problems with the broadband, I'm going to be making a bit of a shouty call to my broadband provider a bit later on. Basically, my upload speed is normally about 12 to 15 megabits per second. It seems to be like 7. So I had to drop it down to 1080p. Also, there's a massive helicopter outside, so enjoy that sound of that. Oh, and at some point, all my neighbours will start doing gardening and woodworking. The guy next door's got a woodworking shed in his garden. They'll be all it's a nightmare around here. Anyway, Bill was the first in chat, LWM Modelling. It says first. Welcome to you, Bill. And there are other people in chat who, for some reason, I've seen in other places, but haven't come up in this chat. But there we go. Peter Davey is in. He says tweak or twerk. EC Idaho says good day. Just popped in to say hello. I have to get ready for work. Hope the best for all. Thank you very much to you. Hello to you, Peter. Now, if you are watching this live and you're watching it embedded in Facebook or Twitter or something, come and join the live chat. Click the YouTube icon in the bottom right hand corner and you can join the live chat and we can hang out. I don't expect a lot of people in chat because it is a morning slot and I don't, a lot of people are at work or in other countries and therefore asleep. So, but whoever we get in chat, I'll spend time with you. We'll hang out. We'll have some fun. The chat is unfortunately behind all this stuff. Bill says scary looking wires usually mean magic blue smoke at some point. Well, we'll talk about that. Right. I have been, as I say, filming this build. Been doing little videos each month, and I've decided now it's not really practical for me to do it at the minute, so streaming is better. But what I did do, and I will confess to this, is I got about 2 or 3 of the packs that were basically doing all this wiring in the driver's compartment, or the cockpit as I like to call it, even though it's not actually a cockpit. And we did all this wiring. It goes around here, and there's all the wiring to the flux capacitor and all this kind of stuff, and tubes and pipes. And I did all that. Now and most of that wiring is actually pretend wiring. All this stuff here, it's not actually electric wiring. It's just it's electrical wire, but it doesn't go anywhere. It's just pretend to make it look like the studio prop. But there is some wiring. There's like a little motherboard down here that you can't quite see with all the actual real wiring in. I did all that off camera because I've watched other people build this. I've spoken to Chris over at Gross Models who's built this. And yes, I know the wiring was a nightmare. And also, I am rubbish at electrical stuff. And I thought, I don't want to stream that because I'd just be swearing constantly. You'd just see the back of my head and I wouldn't get monetization because it'd be swearing. So yeah, I just did that. So I didn't film that either. So that's a big episodes. That's issues like, I don't know, 35 to 40 something or 40 to 50 that weren't even filmed. But I just wanted to go ahead and get it done so we can carry on today. But as you can see, it's lovely so far. We've got the engine assembled. I think the engine's pretty much complete now. We've got the cockpit all in and done. I'll lift it up so you can see it and put it on camera. We've got the seats which actually recline and, although a little bit stiff, slide forward and backward to allow access to the stuff right back here. We've got the flippy floppy wheels that where the magnets aren't strong enough, and I've installed the steering system, which is, I have to say, if it was on camera, move the camera a bit, there we go. After the steering system, it's a bit bish, it doesn't go very far. And I have to say as well, you may have seen I posted up about the steering wheel. Yes, I got a steering wheel. There's a little square recess in the steering wheel that goes on the steering column, and this column's got like a square peg on the end. The steering column was fine, but my steering wheel had the square hole at 45 degrees offset. So the wheel was constantly turned to the right or to the left. I didn't think that was right. So I basically got a replacement and it was. So if you get yours and the wheel it goes onto the steering column at like a 45 degree angle, you've got a mismanufactured wheel. It doesn't really matter. You can leave it like that if you want. Because I mean the steering barely works anyway, it's not really important. But if you're a real stickler for that, you could contact Fanhome to send you a replacement, or do like I did, just get another one on eBay. They're like a tenner for the magazine and bits and bobs. But if you need to, you can just contact Fanhome. They will send you a replacement, no problem. I've not had, with all the part works I've been doing for them, I've been doing this, and I've done the Iron Man and stuff, and the Dodge. I've not really had any major problems. I've had, you know, a few tiny things like the steering column on the Dodge was a bit wonky. There was something wrong with that, and little bits where I've, you know, missing component, and all I've done is I've contacted Fanhome and they've sent the parts in, no problem. So yes, so anyway, that's where we're up to. We've got the cockpit driver's area done, we've got the engine I think pretty much done. Today we're going to crack on eventually when I stop talking with, I think it's going to be the body shell and the doors, and we're starting from issue 57. We're starting from. I've got 6 packs to get through. That's 25-30 magazines, so we're going to see how far we can get today, and we'll just carry on with this each time until we get finished. But I'm going to put this to one side, and when you're lifting this up, by the way, if you're building this, be careful when you put your hand under here, because you could easily snap this part here. Don't just put your hand on the steering rack. So let's put that there. Now I have to say, with the electrics, it wasn't actually quite a nightmare. It wasn't too bad. It was fiddly getting everything together, but it kind of went together. The actual electrical bit is plug and play. It's quite easy. The tricky bit is all the fake wiring, looping that round. A little bit of super glue here and there was required. Right, so let's get the magazines out. See what we've got. There'll be a lot of banging and opening of packages in this stream today. So we have these. Some boxes. 1, 2. There's that one there. Now this is a big box. I like big box and I cannot buy. Okay, so we have issues 61 and 60. Those are magazines. Am I missing something here? This could all come to a crunching halt if I suddenly realise I'm missing all the magazines. I might actually be missing all the magazines. In which case we might just dive into something else. There's no magazines in there. Where have I put them? Somewhere. Well, this is going to be a good start, isn't it? 1661. Why being special? Oops. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Are they in here? Are they in this box? Well, that's embarrassing. Very embarrassing. Oh dear. Huh. Oh, hang on. 57, 58, 59, 60, 61. Oh, here we go. Here we go. 59. Let me just go through this pile of magazines now. I don't know why they're in there. What are they in there for? Hang on a minute. 60, 61. This is down to me. For some reason, they've become separated. What did I want? 57, 58, 59, 60, 61. Okay. So 59. Right. 52. 51. 92. Okay. Not quite sure why these have become mixed up with the others. Let's try. What's this one? Right, I've got to go through a pile of magazines and find them now. For some reason, they've all become mixed up. One job. I had one job. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are all in order. There we go. 56, 57, 58. There we go. That was weird. I keep all my finished issues separate for some reason. Got mixed up. Sorry about that. Right, so we got 57, 58, 59, 66. Don't need 56. So, if you've never done a part work before, the way it works is each month you get a pack of 4 or 5, depending on your part work, 4 or 5 magazines. And the magazines typically include instructions, because each magazine comes with a bunch of parts, and you get instructions for what to do with the parts. Now this is an old Eagle Moss build, so they do the instructions first. With non-Eagle Moss ones, like the actual Fanhome ones, they tend to be the blurb first of the instructions. And then you also get lots of background information about the thing you're building. Like this is Back to the Future, it might be Star Wars or Star Trek or stuff. And in this one we're talking about the hoverboard and the auto-lacing Nikes. Now the funny thing is, I was reading the previous magazine, issue 56, and it talks about the hoverboard and how they had like a wood one and a foam one. And then about a day later, I saw a clip of Back to the Future 2 or 3, whichever this is. I can't remember now. And the one with the hoverboard, and he stood there, and you look at it and you think, that's the foam one, because it's all battered and it's got chunks taken out of it. And I can't not see it as a piece of foam now. It's like, destroyed. It's destroyed my childhood. Right, so anyway, let's have a quick look at chats. Crikey, that's a lot of magazines. How about a tap dance and a song? You don't want to see me tap dancing or singing. Well, singing maybe not. Peter Davey says, lol. Hey, Angus and Peter Davey, welcome to both of you. Yes, there's, I think when this is finished, there'll be 120 issues for the whole thing. It's typically 4 or 5 a month, and each month you get a pack. But we're going to start with issue 57, which would make sense. So now, the reason it's a bit of a struggle this time is because this is the boxes we get for this issue. We get this box in a bigger box. So I don't know which bit is which. So let's get these bits out and see what we've got. Excuse me. That wasn't me. That was the cardboard box. Thank you. And we also get... God, these are huge. This bit. Keep in mind these are all solid metal. Now. So we have... That's for issue 61, it says. This is issue 60. So what's about issue 57? What are we going to be doing with that one? Back plate. Oh, I know. I'm being a spoon. I've done 57, 58 and 59. That was the back wall. That's why I couldn't find the magazines. I'm really not prepared for this, am I? So we've only got 2 to do from this box. I've done them 3. The 3 that I couldn't find and was panicking. Such a dingus. Do you know? This is what you pay for, folks. This is the quality entertainment that I provide. I make these mistakes, so you don't have to. So it's issue 60 we're starting with, you dumbass. So I'll put this big chunk over here. You're a big chunk. So let's get this out. So we're going to be starting to build the inner frame for the body. And then eventually the actual outer shell as well. So we get in this one some loose parts, which is always a winner when it arrives in a big box and you're glad that things have fallen out. A couple of loose box thing. Where is it? Got one of these. 2 little loose screw things, plastic screws. You get another screwdriver. I think this is the 3rd screwdriver they've sent me now. You get different size screwdrivers across the course of the part work. I've also got all the screwdrivers from a Dodge. So, yeah. And then under here, we've got all these other little bits that are a bit hard to get to. Where's my knife? Got some screws and springs. Springs. The spring's the thing. I'm going to need tweezers to get these bits out. Let me get my tweezers. Where are my tweezers? Right, so we've got a bag of screws. We've got a plastic. Ooh, it smells like... There's a funny smell in this box. It kind of smells a bit like something sweet. Like a... I don't know. A little bit like apple sauce, but not quite. I've got to be careful now, because springs are going to go everywhere, and I don't want to lose them. There's one spring. That's the other spring. Okay. That's all that's in there. Always double check your plastic wrapping and boxes to make sure you've got everything. These stick back in the box. Yeah, I promise I'm normally more organised than this. Oh look, there goes a lawnmower outside, you probably hear it. There's always one. Middle class suburbia, my backside. Right, so we have this very large solid metal trunk for the inner frame, like the backbone of the body shell. What's the word for the body shell? Obviously the chassis is the chassis, but what's the name for the body shell? Has it got a name or is it just the shell? Right, so I'm going to move my iPad over here so I can see it better, because I'm struggling to see you guys in chat. Anyway, how is everyone? I hope you're all well. Hope you're all awake. I'm not used to these morning times because with Mama Wolf, I'm on a schedule where I normally get up in the afternoon and she goes to bed in the early morning. And I kind of follow the same as her, but now I'm having to get up in the mornings. So it's like, I don't know what this morning thing is. Right. Begin working on the roof of your DeLorean by adding the 2 door locks. I'll give you door locks. Remove the packing support. Oh, these things. Okay. These. I've got a few of these from the Dodge. Oh, bagging. Locking the camera. These packing supports. This is the new screwdriver, which is massively too big. And we've got a broken off screw. That's good. Oh no, it's a tiny screw. Let's have a look for this one, maybe. I need my lenses so I can see. That's a very messed up screw on that one. I'm going to have to do some jiggling to get that one out, I think. That's the wrong size. That's the wrong size. I've got a bunch of other screwdrivers. That's better. Almost. Nope, that's the wrong size. I've got my Dodge screwdrivers. I do like the fact they give you screwdrivers you go along, but in this case they've given me not any one that's the right size for these little screws. Yeah, we're going to give you some screws that don't match any of the drivers we've sent you. Brilliant. For some reason they're not accepting slightly bigger screwdrivers like normal screws do, so let's try that one. Bit chunky, this screw. Let's get it out. Let's get it out. Come on now. There you go, that's better. Oops. Now the beauty of this is, of course, being live. I can't edit out all the shakes and wobbles that I'll get because I'm half asleep and it's morning. This screw, I'm not sure about. It's been sheared, I think. Don't know how I'm going to get that one out. Yeah. It's been... Oh, there we go. It's coming. There we go. Okay, it's not actually been sheared. I thought the head had been like, you know, the thread had been... No, it's just full of crap. The actual screw head is full of crud. There we go. That one's out. You can throw these away. I like to keep these. I've got a couple of them. They make good things like stirring sticks and stuff. Or straight edges if you're cutting, say, plastic card. And these are just to keep this shell in shape. Keep your shell in shape. There's a new one. Will this fit? Yes. There we go. Yeah, there's a funny smell. It's like a nice smell. It's like applesauce mixed with something else, but I can't quite think what. Now you are going to see a lot of the back of my hand, I'm afraid. Oops. Clunk. Those are spare screws. I'll put these over here. Don't need those anymore, but I'll put them in my brush jar. Jedi Phil says, morning from New York. Morning, Jedi Phil. Thank you for coming along. You're more than welcome. Crystal Tips, Scale Modelling Chaos says, I think I fall into a weird category as I'm always up early, 6 AM, and go to bed late, 2 to 3. Well, like I said, over the last couple of years, it's been getting up at 2 or 3 in the afternoon for me, and then going to bed at 4 or 5 in the morning because of Mama Wolf. But I need to get stuff done, so that's why I'm doing these morning slots, because it's the only time I can get on with stuff while Mama Wolf is asleep, you see. So unfortunately, what I'm hoping isn't the case is that my broadband is rubbish in the mornings, because that kind of knackers things like video game streams, because I can't stream video games in 1080p because the quality would be abysmal. Right, so we'll move those left side and right side, so make sure we've got the right one. So left side, they've also got handy L and R on them. Right, push one of the springs onto one of the bolts. So these are the bolts that came out but luckily didn't get lost. Springs on. Oh, and the bolt flies off. And it needs to go. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. If you any oh, I see. Right, so that goes in there. This way. So this is basically the door latch. So it goes in here, like this, you see. And the little plastic piece. Your little plastic piece covers it up. So let's get this open. Let's get it open. Now, one thing I will recommend if you've not done a part work before is get yourself a little tidy tray like this, because you will end up with a lot of screws. And I've got millions of them. They're all different types, so I like to keep them all stored in different types. Because although you get spares in every issue, you'll always get a spare screw or one or two. It doesn't do any harm to have as many as possible. I've actually got a pot in the corner with like billions of screws in, all the leftover screws from my part works. Always make sure you've got them as backup. So this sits in... Where's the actual camera pointing, Fox? There we go. This sits in here like this, you see? This is where it pings off now and is lost for all time. And then that goes on top with the screw down there. Be really careful not to have it ping out. And then I need one AM screw. This is where I need some oil. Now what I do with metal screws, you don't have to do this, it's just something I've always done, is I need a small screwdriver. I like to just touch the end of the screw into a tiny bit of oil, just to make it easier to get the screw in so it threads nicely. You don't have to do that. It's something I saw other people do and they swear by it. So I've just got a little thing of oil over there. I just dip it in, only for screws going into metal. Because when you screw the metal screw in, of course, it's going into metal and the metal's often painted. So it just removes any excess pressure. Right, that's that one on. Got a little dibble on the end there that doesn't barely move. Cool. I'll double check that because it doesn't actually move much. Did I do it the right way around? Was I even paying attention remotely? Let's find out. Let's just take it off again. Carefully keep my finger on it. Got the screw, the spring's been fouled a bit, that's why it wasn't moving. Let's just take that out carefully. My screw got bended. Right, tweezers. The spring got trapped under the little piston piece. So, oh, hello. There we go. Stay on target. Stay on target. Hang on. It's a black piece with a black spring on a black background. Fantastic. My finger over it to keep it in place. Get in. There is no bathroom. Come on. It's always fun when you involve springs. Right, there we go. Right, that's better. That should now push in a little bit. It's got a little, you can't actually see this on screen because it's tiny and black. It's basically a pin with a spring around it and it pushes. It's just a little dibble that sticks out and clicks the door into place. Yes, it wasn't moving, so I thought there's obviously something wrong there, but the spring had basically become trapped underneath the pin and wasn't quite doing its wibbly wobbly bit. I've got the music from the pre-roll in my head. Do, 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 do. That screw's refusing to stop spinning now, but it's in, it's fine. There we go, we've got a little nipple that moves in and out. We shall do the same on the other side, yeah, das ist richtig. Spring and thing, add tweezers and rest. Get my screw ready. Unfortunately, not all my screwdrivers are magnetic. This one is, thankfully. And apologies if I knock the microphone when I'm getting oil, because it's right where it lives. That's not on camera, that is. So again, we'll put the spring on the little thing. Hope to dear Lord that it doesn't ping out into the universe. So if I lose either of these, the whole door mechanism fails. And I'd be very sad. So, and then we put that over the top very quickly. Is that fouled again? That's fouled again. Yeah, thank you. It seems very easy for the spring to get squished into the little small bit where... There we go, that's better. Where the pin goes. That's working. Lovely. Go get that screwed in. Yeah, if you've not done a part work on of a car before, they are fantastic because typically they're 1/8 scale, or there are a few that are 1/6 and they're massive. Fester's doing one of them. He's doing the whatever it is, Mustang, I think. It's like 1/6. Fills his entire workbench. But they're generally like 70 or 80% solid hardcore metal. And they weigh like, well, my Dodge Charger weighed 8 kilograms. And I had to reinforce the shelf it went on. Right, that's an AM screw. So it can go in AM screws. Okay. Keep your screws, folks, trust me. Because there will come a time, actually I don't know what screws they are, so all I can do with those is put them in my part work screws tub. Yeah, there will come a time, and it always happens when you get 4 things to screw in, and you get 5 screws, and you drop one of them. So you've only got 4, and you've got 4 things to screw. And one of the screws, either you drop a second one, you've lost both of them, or one of the screws is like got no thread on it, or the head sheared, and you're knackered. But because you've kept all your previous screws, you've got a spare one. Right, so that's that door latch. Okay, and that completes this issue. Yes. Some of these will be very simple issues. Some issues you just like screw 2 things together like that. Some issues you spend an hour and a half doing all the wiring. Yes, that's how these things work. Let's have a quick look at chat. Everyone here has at least 1 or 2 loose screws. Oh, it's kind of de rigueur. It's kind of required, I think, in our group. So Fox likes to get oiled up, says Crystal. Yes. I dropped a load of those screws 2 years ago, he says, and I'm still finding the odd one even now. Oh, God, yeah. Every now and then I'll do hoovering in here, and he'll be like, yeah, that'll be a screw. La, 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 la. Bill says, morning for us. Morning is for normies only. Us weirdos and freaks need to avoid pre-noon. It's not good for us. Yeah, it's not healthy. Well, what's the next one? Stefan Last is in. This is a good day all. Watching on the tiny screen as I'm about to do some eatage. Chicken nuggets and potato salad. Ooh, I like potato salad. It's a winner. Right, so in this one we get the front of the frame. The hood, I suppose it would be. The luggage compartment, as it's a DeLorean there. Right, so it's going to be the same again. Let's get all the bits out first. Get your bits out. Let's put that there. That looks like more like a Trans Am at the minute, doesn't it? More like kit. And Angus says to Peter, only when screwing. That we all have loose screws. Hey, Angus. That's that bit. There is something nice about when you start to get... I don't know what it is. It's like when it's just like a chassis, or when it's just like a chassis with the driver's compartment on. It's all right. But it's when you start working on the body shell. Okay, there's a spring in there. Got to be careful. And it starts to... Because it doesn't really look... Even though you've got like the driver's compartment on the chassis, it doesn't look like a car. Even though it's got wheels and stuff on it. You just don't get that car vibe. As soon as you start putting the body shell together. Yeah. Right, spring again. Let's make sure we don't ping this into oblivion, because then I will be very sad. Right. And that is the one thing, although these part works are brilliant and they give you spare screws, they never ever give you a spare spring. Springs are always black, they're always tiny, and they always like to hide in carpets. So always be extra vigilant when it comes to springs. What plastic waste though, unfortunately, in these things. Greta Thunberg wouldn't like these. So first we have the bar that we need to remove. Remove the packing support. I do like these little bars. They are really handy for stuff. You'll find uses for them. Best to like attach them to something as part of a kit bash, and it would be glorious. I'm very jealous of Fester's kit bashing abilities and his imagination. I've said it before. I say it to the point of obsession, but I'm a painter, not a builder. So when I was a kid, I could kit bash things and have fun and be silly. When I became an adult, I just lost that imaginative spark to like just be creative like that. And it's one of the reasons like my drawing and my music petered out over the years, because my creativity dropped as I got older. And yeah, I'm very jealous of that. Fester's retained that childlike wonder. It means you can just kit bash stuff together and it's just insanity, but brilliant. When it comes to that, I found a moustache yesterday off a Warhammer figure. I think it's a moustache of some sort. There you go. Just thought I'd tell you that if I had no real reason. Right, so we've got two lots of screws. We've got some OM screws and we've got some NM. Now I don't think I've got either of those. I always throw the little bag away unless I've run out of slots, so I can't fit any more in. So I've got NM. I don't think I've got OM, so I shall keep that bag because I've got screws that I don't have a slot for. So it sounds really weird, but I'm really kind of like finicky when it comes to this kind of tidying scenario, just because there's been so many times I've needed a screw because I've dropped. You will drop screws like it's going out of fashion, so don't even think that you won't. You will. So I'm going to open this one because I need to keep the little packet. OM screws made to make your mouth water. Right, I'll put that back in there. So yeah, you will drop screws, you will lose screws, and you will occasionally get you also sometimes get a screw where you'll get like three or four of each of a screw, and one of them will just be ever so slightly not quite the right size or shape or something. There'll be something not quite right with it, and you'll be like, oh, and it won't work. Very rarely you'll get an unthreaded screw, which is kind of annoying. Right, so this is going to be another springy thingy. This is the hood lock. We've got this piece that goes on there, like that, you see. It's like a fat T-bar. Gonna take you to the T-bar, because I like tea. You see what I did there? Then the spring goes over the top. Okay, we need to ready some screws, don't we? We need some of these, and they are NM screws, which are these, which will fit on this screwdriver, which is magnetized. Again, metal screws. Touch of oil. Just get one ready. So we have that goes in there like that. And apologies, it's a faraway view from the camera, but unfortunately, when I set the camera up, of course, I base it on the chassis and stuff, and you've got to be able to see it. So, right, now this needs to go this way up. There's a little pin inside there that goes into the screw, into the spring even. That's going to go in there. Oh, and then the screw comes off the screwdriver. Thanks. Oh, come on now. There we go. Just need one of you to go in and start the ball. Right, there we go. Good lad. Good lad. I knew I liked you for a reason. Not quite a big enough screwdriver though. Go for a slightly larger one, I think. Yeah, so I have to set the camera up on the assumption that at some point you'll need to see the entirety of it. And that's the thing with these part works, because normally I'll have the camera close up when I'm doing small things. So you can see. That's too small. Let's go for bigger ones. Nope, that's too small. Wow, all the screwdrivers are the wrong ones. Let's just give it the biggest screwdriver in the world and see what happens. Nope. Nope. We'll get there. This is why you always have a lot of screwdrivers to hand. Ooh. There is quite a lot of variation in the quality of these screws. Like you'll get like 3 screws the same, but the actual crossheads will be slightly different on all of them. It's like, really? Right, there we go. That's the puppy. So keep your screwdrivers. Like I say, these are off of my Dodge Charger. And I've got a couple of Iron Man ones somewhere. I don't know where they are. And I've got like an expensive screwdriver. Well, not expensive, but I've got a proper screwdriver that's got like a collection of screw head, a pack of screw heads. But it's faster just to go from one of these than start taking heads on and off and farting them out. Now, don't forget, folks, if you're watching this, please do come and join me in the live chat if you're watching it embedded in Facebook or Twitter. And please don't forget, if you'd like to keep this channel alive, I depend on you guys to keep this channel alive. So if you'd like to keep the channel alive, please do consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/gurufoxx. Or you can become a channel member by pressing the join button of the video, and you can help support the channel and keep it alive. Right, now we need to get big now. Let me just put these away. Always assume as well that your little container with screws in, which I recommend you have on the this thing. This is one Colin made for paint pots, but it's perfect for screws. Always assume that you will knock it and it will fly off across the horizon. Always assume that, always. Because you will, as you're moving things around, especially when you start getting big components, it will ping into the universe and you'll never see it again. So always keep the lid on your screw. When I was doing the Dodge Charger, I had X-Wing, sorry, I had all the screws in different compartments and I knocked it and they all fell into a pile. So always put the lid back on. You need bench discipline when you're doing part work. Bench discipline. Right, so I'll put that there out of the way. I'll put it there near my coffin. Now I'll leave it there. Right, so we need to get the one back. I like the grill there where the vent is. Position the luggage compartment at the front of the roof frame and shown, and you'll need 4 OM screwages. So they can go down there. You'll get one ready. This is why you get the big screwdriver, you see, because you've got these big heavy duty screws. I should get one of those ready. Except I think their big heavy duty screwdriver is too big for these. Have that ready and waiting there. Fix onto there like that, you'll see. See, it's starting to look like a car now. It's starting to look a lot like DeLorean. You can still buy new DeLoreans now. The gentleman who bought all the old stock of all the bits that they've made, because the company went bust, but that's not fitting. But all the body shells they made, they're still there, still around. It's too big. Because they were stainless steel, so they didn't rust. So he bought them all, and he makes them now. You make them to order. A lot of them electric. Why is this not wanting to... Not actually in the right hole, that's why, Fox, you dingus. Starting to look a lot like that's not the right hole. There you go, using that hole. Look at the instructions, Fox. That's probably a good idea. Yes, those two. There we go. I had it in the wrong hole. Story of my life. Yes. Now, this isn't an e-model show, so don't worry about being family friendly. Yes. Right, is that going to go in? A bit better. We'll just get them in loosely to start with, because I can go around and tighten them up. Get off, get on, get off. Yes, so tomorrow, my plan is, because it's Friday, it'll be the first Far Cry Friday, so we'll start Far Cry 5, assuming that my broadband is not being a dingus. If my broadband is still stuck at 1080p and that's as much as it can cope with, I may have to postpone it, because it may sound really stupid, but streaming low bit rates and low resolutions on YouTube, a game, is horrible for you guys to watch. So we'll see how it figures out. We'll figure something out, because I need to stream at 1440p to make sure I get the better codec that gives you the better quality image. Otherwise, if not, every time I move, you'll get blurry nonsense. So we shall see. I shall call my broadband provider later when we're finished here and use words I say, Right, 2 more of these. It's beginning to look a lot like I need some coffee. Yeah, I'm not quite getting the right size screwdriver for these screws. They're all kind of like not fitting any of the screwdrivers they're provided. And this is the thing, they're always different sizes. They always vary, even within the same batch. You're like, hang on, that one worked for that one, but not for this one. What? It can be a bit frustrating sometimes. But it's all part of the fun. Now, you've already noticed, and it's pointless in mentioning it, but I'll mention it anyway. You will have no doubt realised that I have rebranded. No more am I model making guru. I am indeed gurufoxx. And pretty much everything has changed now. The YouTube channel's renamed. The website is now gurufoxx.com, and that's all set up and redirected. Model making guru still works, and it always will, but it's now gurufoxx.com. The only thing that hasn't changed, I think, is anything I've forgotten about, because there'll be something. And on Facebook, because you have to request. It's a bit of a rubbish system. You have to say, I want to change my page name. What do you want? I want this. Okay. And it doesn't give you any kind of confirmation. It says, you know, allow up to 3 days. They have to vet it. But it doesn't tell you that the vetting process has started. They don't say, thanks for requesting this, we'll let you know. It's just nothing. And I haven't heard from you. So that should hopefully change at some point. But for now, it's still Model Making Guru. I've still got like that there says Model Making Guru on my mat and my stickers on my board. I haven't designed or made stickers yet for anything else. I will do eventually, probably. Right, that's those two attached. That's nice and firm. Cheers, all duty call, says Jedi Phil. Thank you for coming in, Jedi. Much appreciated. Did Fox say he needs a screw? Well, we all feel like that at some point. Yeah, permanent state of affairs for me, mate. Oh. I've still got lots of screws left, though, so I'm going to guess there's more. Oh, yes. We've got 4 to go on the top of the window screen. Oh, hello. I'm attached. What's going on there? My strings, the thing. Move my microphone out of the way a bit. Now, because I'm sat here on my own, I do accept all help you can offer about things to talk about. So, for the love of dog, please ask me questions. Start conversation. Let me just move. Everything's getting in the way of everything else at the minute. Start conversations. Ask me questions. Give me things to talk about. Inspire me in chat. Because there's only so much waffle I can do without help. Even I have my limits as to how much waffle I can do without guidance. I know, it's hard to believe, isn't it? What's that? 12 o'clock is starting to look a lot like lunchtime. I do appreciate you guys coming with me today, and I hope that this morning slot proves to be good, because it's, you know, as I said, it's the only slot that's available for me to do anything. I can't do afternoons. I can't really do evenings, so I'm just doing these loosely for now. These screws, I'll tighten them up in a sec. So I do hope, I know that morning slot isn't always the best slot, but I work with what I've got. So hopefully there's a good bunch of you out there who just happen to be around at this time with nothing better to do. I mean, I can think of lots of better things to do, but I'm going to use my own personal screwdriver for this because these are quite tight and I want the twisty handle. There we go. I want these to be rock solid. When you're screwing into plastic, you've got to be kind of careful and not over tighten stuff. When you're screwing into metal, just tighten them as tight as you can. Screw the living crap out of them. Now, did you watch the stream last night, Wednesday stream? Did you like Festa's little animated Festa on the thing? That was good, that one. We're both going to have those. I'm just leaving mine on my game streams. I think I'm not going to do it on these kind of bench streams, but yeah, but it's such a good idea. We do that, Fester and I. One of us will find something and be like, "Ooh, look at this. Do you think we could?" Oh, and then we'd have an hour-long conversation. Then we all go off and have silly ideas. Silly ideas, the best ideas. Right, that's that, and that completes this issue. So that is right. The next issue is the Windshield. This is going to require careful patience, and also a new box. So that's issues. What were they again? 57 to 61. So that's a box complete. You start to get a feel for how big this thing is now. The DeLorean, unlike things like the Batmobile and the Ecto one, is about as long as the body shell. So it's not the biggest car. It's not perhaps as big as the Dodge, but that in itself, that's probably about a kilogram. That's a weighty baby. Yeah. So let's get the next box anyway. So it's 62 to 66. Let me get the box. Yeah. Anyway, how are you all? I hope you're all well. Tell me what's going on in your world. Tell me what things are occurring. What's occurring? Oh, lovely. 62, 63, 64. 65 and 66. Now, the one thing I always forget to do when I live stream Partworks is what you should do, which is make sure you've got all the magazines and bits. I always forget that, and I end up not doing it. So it is entirely possible that, as like we did almost before, be like, oh, hang on, I've not got half the things I'm supposed to have. Now we get a binder. In the last few packs, we get these binders. We've had about 4 of them now. Very nice binders. Keep all magazines in. Some Partworks, right? Some Partworks, you'll get the first binder. Like that Warhammer Conquest set, you got 1 binder, I think, or 2. And the rest of it was like, you had to buy them separately. This one, you've had all the binders. I think the X-Wing, you got all the binders. Yeah, but sometimes you just get like the first 1 or 2 and you just expect you to go and buy the rest. It's like, really? Come on now. You're paying many hundreds of pounds for your Partwork. You could send me the binders. Right. So, we're going to need to move things here. Let's just move this body shell out of the way somewhere. I don't know where. Put it there for now. That looks like a luggage compartment to me. So we've got 5, 62, 63, 66, 64. Okay, so we'll start with 62. Put all those over there. There we go. That feels like a bonnet to me, that big metal flat piece. So 62. I thought I was high, says Bill. No, that's how I come across sometimes. You might think you're high, the way I jump around. Add the windscreen and rear view mirror. Handle it with care to avoid scratching the plastic. I kind of wish they'd give you these things with a film on them so you can take the film off at the very last minute once it's all assembled, but they never do. You ask, but they never give. How are we doing? We've had no drop frames. Good, good, good. Everything looking good, I hope. To paraphrase the movie Jaws, Fox is going to need a bigger desk. Yes. Well, the thing is, this bench, I've got some crud over there, like taking up space, like my lamp and some bits and bobs and the screwdrivers and stuff. But I can move all that out of the way. I'll move the camera, show you. There's some crud over there. This is all just junk lying around. But I could fit the Dodge on it, so it's perfect. But I know Fester, like, told me the other day, he got his Mustang, which is 1/6 scale. Sort yourself out, camera. He got his Mustang out, and it literally just had him 5 millimeters of space each side. Whew. Right, now for this, we're going to need to not put fingerprints on stuff, so it's time for the disposables. No, not white gloves. Box for that so much. Now, when you're doing cars like this, it's not such a problem with DeLorean because it's just brushed aluminium and it's actually just painted metal. But if you're doing shiny partwork cars, like I was doing the Dodge, I do recommend wearing the gloves when you're doing body parts and windows and stuff, because there's nothing worse than building your whole partwork and suddenly you find there's a dirty great fingerprint on the inside of the rear window which you can't get to ever again because you've assembled it all. Yeah. Now, unlike the Dodge, when this is finished, I won't be applying a coat of wax to it. If you remember, what was that just fell out? If you remember on the Dodge, when it was finished and all nice and built, I actually gave it a coat of Dodo Juice Supernatural wax, just like a real car. Because I happen to have the Dodo Juice Supernatural wax anyway, from my detailing days. It's a very nice wax, and it makes everything look nice and shiny. Doesn't seem like a good idea. But on this one, it's meant to be a bare metal car, so it doesn't really need the waxing and shining, really. Beginning to look a lot like a windscreen and a rear view mirror. Rear view mirror? Howdy, Fox and chat. Checking in while working, says Dream Builder. Hey, mate, not seen you for a while. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming in. I've got to be careful here. There's a... where's my little spudgy thing? Where's my plastic spudger? I've got a Citadel texture tool, which is great for spudging things that you don't want to scratch. And I've noticed, pinged out, hooray! Got some glue holding it in. I've noticed it's covered in fingerprints. Ooh! Now, what does concern me is there's a thing there, but there's nothing in it. Oh, it's that bit there. So we're going to get these into the little pot. So we've got the reflective piece. Now that does have a film on it for the rear view mirror. The ensconcement, I like that word, ensconcement for the rear view mirror. Some screws. And the big boy itself. Das Windscreen. Now have I got my towel? Yeah, with me. Yes. Yes. Oh yes. I have a ripped bag. I have a Dodo Juice Fantastic Fur. I think it's a Fantastic Fur. Now I need to get a new bag for it because it's just falling apart. I think it's a Fantastic Fur, which I keep in a sealed bag. And this is a soft, fluffy microfiber buffing cloth for detailing. And it's perfect for clear parts like that. Look at that. Yes. Now, of course, it's kind of pointless doing this because over the coming months it will get dusty anyway. I need to put that in the bag. But when it comes to finally sealing up the car, for example, I need to find a big bag now. Put this back in because the bag just fell apart. Hooray! Oh, Lord. What have I wrought? Yeah, it's nice to have, because when you've got clear parts, you want to get them all nice and dust free, but you don't want a scruffy, scratchy cloth, because there is nothing worse. So, if you're going to be doing a lot of part works and stuff, I do recommend, especially shiny cars, Dodo Juice. D-O-D-O, and then the word juice. They make detailing products. Because I was a detailer, that's what my job was at one point, so... They make professional and semi-professional detailing products. Things like waxes and sealants and cloths and things. But they're brilliant for these partworks because, you know, you can wax your car, you can seal it. John Bias is in. You get a $20 super chat. John, thank you very much. He says, good morning, Fox. It's great to see you live. I don't know if you got an animated thing in the corner there. I hope you did. Thank you very much, John. That's a massive, massive help to me. Thank you, thank you. You're very kind. Nice to see you, John. Not spoken to you for a long time. Been watching your filmed at 3 in the morning, 5 in the morning, painting videos. Always fun to watch. Big thank you to you, my friend. Bill says, look like you skinned the Cookie Monster. Oh, yes. That's not a fantastic, it might be a Fantastic Fur. I can never remember because there's like, they've got a drying towel called, they've got the Fantastic Fur, they've got I can't remember the names now. But yeah, so if you're making lots of partworks, especially shiny cars or bikes, go and check them out. Waxes, they do little tiny wax pots for like, you know, not too much money. They're brilliant. Their waxes are fantastic. I used to love Dodo Juice. PJ and Dom were the guys that ran, I don't know if they're still there, PJ and Dom that ran Dodo Juice. They were good lads. Used to meet up with them every now and then in the course of our detailing. They were slightly crazy, but lovable. PJ and Dom. It's amazing how some stuff I actually remember from those days. It's really weird. Yeah, PJ and Dom. Good lads at Dodo Juice. Now, I'm not supported by or paid by or, you know, sponsored by, so yeah, they're just so you know. Now, here's the window screen. No, I don't actually say window screen, by the way. I was just being silly. I'm going to put this to one side safely because I need to get the shell out again. Yeah, just a little tiny number. Now, this goes on the inside. And this is where it gets tricky now, because a lot of this build you're going to have things upside down, especially when you do things like putting the shell on the chassis and stuff. And I have seen people break wing mirrors off every time they turn upside down. It can get quite frustrating, so just when you're doing stuff like this, just go careful, take your time, don't rush. Kaplink. Now, it doesn't sit flush because it's not quite the right shape, but that's what the screws are for. So first of all, make sure you've got a screw, a screw. Haven't the mugger tried? Exit stage left. Even know where that came from. A screw. Get off that. That's too big. I did it again. Screwdriver. That's the right size. That one's too big. That one is just right. Lovely. Almost verged into Zap Brannigan then. Give. Right, so these need to go in very carefully because I've got oil on them. In fact, I'm probably not going to use oil for these because I don't want oil to go everywhere. Now, these you're going to have to be very, very careful screwing them in. But in two, I'm going to do actually. I was going to get the towel out again, but the towel will mess up the camera. I actually had a perfectly functioning C920 camera, right? And I used to use one of those that towel. I used to use a big one of those, a big fantastic fur, to go down on the bench before I had this squishy mat. And I'd turn the camera on, and the picture would be breaking up and pixelating, and I'd be like, "Oh no, my camera's knackered." And I thought it was like the cabling or the wiring in the camera had broken or something. And in the end, I'm like, I tried the other camera on the other side, and that was fine. So I thought the camera was knackered, so in the end I threw it away. I just had to oh, steady, didn't scratch it. Buy a new camera. Turned out there was nothing wrong with the camera. It was the fluffy texture on the towel that was freaking the camera because it was too much information. It was overloading the camera. So I threw away a perfectly acceptable C920 camera. I rue the day, I really do. Right, so that's that. I'm only doing these loosely. You don't want to over tighten these. If you over tighten these, you crack your windscreen. So don't do that. I'm going to get them all in and then loosely or carefully get them all to finger tight. When you're doing screws into plastic parts like this, go round. Don't do like all tight at one end and then loose at the other. Get them all in, then tighten them up in an order. Anyway, how you doing, John? Not seen John Bias for ages. Posts his Patey videos. Oh, very good stuff. Go and check out his stuff. It's always good. Yeah, how you doing, John? Hope you and the family are good. Right, let's get these tightened up a little bit. Got the sniffles. So again, I'm going to be as careful as I possibly can. And it is dangerous because you don't want to crack anything. And also, you don't want to do it too loose, but you don't want to do it too tight. You don't want to slip like I did earlier, because if you slip, you scratch the windscreen with your screwdriver. Oh, see that little click there? That means it's just about right. Don't go any tighter. just needs to be finger tight so the windscreen isn't bangling around everywhere. I think we're good. Yes! Excellent. It's already covered in dust. That windscreen's been out for like literally, what, 5 minutes. John says, I've been around, just not much in the socials. I have 2 grandsons now and a granddaughter on the way. Good God. Congratulations. That beard's just going to have to get bigger and bigger the more grandkids you get. Because, you know, you have to be the grandpa with the big beard. Because if you're a grandpa, if you become a grandpa while you have a beard, then you are contractually obligated to maintain that beard in bigness. And white, obviously. Jealous of that. I wish I had a white beard. Right. So that's the windscreen in. Next. Do. So the next bit's fairly simple. To make the rear view mirror. So we have the ensconcement and the mirror itself with its protective film on the top and a dot of glue that I'm going to take off. I think it's a dot of glue. I hope it is. I can get off. You've got a little adhesive strip on there and there's a splond of glue underneath it, so I can get that off. This is the underside, so I can get my knife on that. Doesn't really matter. Nothing written. I can't sing that. I'll use the tweezers actually. I will use the tweezers when I can find the tweezers. There's a little blob of glue on there that was holding it in place, so we'll just pull that off because it'll make it not sit flush. Quite simply. What we do, you see, is we take the film off the back of the wing of the rear view mirror, like that, you see. And we're peeling. Then we're sticking. Ja, das ist richtig. Oh, actually, no. Let's get the film off first while we're doing that. Because I don't want the film to get trapped. There we go. Take the film off. We just basically place that in there. Hope that everybody can see. Some of the glue goes on the side. I'll have to clean that off later. There's some adhesive blobbed onto the clear bit there, but I can clean that off with something later. There we go. Very nice. What I shall do is let me get a little bit of alcohol and a little bit of cotton bud. And I shall very lightly dampen the cotton bud. There's just a little blob of that adhesive. It looks like there's adhesive that holds it in the packing, and then there's the adhesive that holds the thing in place. Little blob of that on there, so I'm just going to take that off. You're not really going to see it because it's hidden away in the corner, but okay. And then alcohol can go away. I'll get back. I shall return myself to the towel of floofiness. I'll just give that a quick little floof. Cover it in my mouth germs, because that's always the way forward. And that's there you go. You have a rear view mirror. I can't say that in French. Miroir. I can't say miroir. Yep. Perfect. I'll keep this towel to one side, just in case. But yeah, if you're doing your shiny car, I do recommend using actual detailing products on them when they're finished. I wouldn't recommend sealants and stuff like that, because the thing is, you get these big model cars and they're going to collect dust, especially if they're shiny black and things. They're going to collect dust, so I do recommend giving a nice coat of wax. Put the knife away. Now this is supposed to just push in. You've got basically a square block on the end of that and a square hole here. I don't trust this. For a start, there's a little nub on the end of it, so we need to get rid of that. That won't sit in straight. I'm not convinced that I actually trust it to stay in place forever, but we'll see. If not, a tiny dod of PVA would actually hold that in place. Or if you've got some odorless, and it has to be odorless CA glue, the non-vapor type, they can actually be used. Have I got a thumbprint on that? I've got gloves on, honestly. The odorless CA glue is vapor free and doesn't fog up clear parts and stuff. You could use a bit of that, but you'd have to be very careful and really know that the CA glue isn't going to fog up. But a little touch of PVA if it won't stay in. The PVA dries clear. So we'll see now. We'll see if this pushes in, how firm it is, how likely I am to snap it. The other thing, of course, you don't want to snap it. Don't trust this at all. Do it from the side. Okay, this might be a good firm grip. Let me get the tweezers. No, I don't trust tweezers. Just be very careful. We are in. It's really painful on your thumb as well. It's a very, very tight fit, which is, of course, what you want. Is that all the way in? It's not all the way in. I have got a pair. I'm going to risk it for a biscuit if I can find them. I have got a pair of, where are they? Not needle nose pliers, but thin nose pliers. There we go. It's a serious risk it for a biscuit now. Just to push it down further. I don't want to push on it because that'll risk breaking it. But I'm prepared to risk something. Very, very gently, just try pushing it up. There we go. It's not the firmest of attachments, but I don't think it's going to come out. I mean, it's wobbly, but it's wedged in there. It's not going to... It took a fair bit of pressure to put that in, so I don't think it's ever going to come out. Hey, that's the pliers down the back of the bench. Oh, something fell down. I'll find it later. So that is the rear view mirror in. I'll just give it another quick look. It's amazing. Wearing gloves and it still gets covered in stuff. There we go. What is that on the mirror? Something on it. It's got schmutz on it already, honestly. There we go, that's better. I'll give it a proper clean with some alcohol later. So there you go. It's not exactly straight, but it'll do. Rear view mirror that you can't see because I'm at the wrong angle. Rear view mirror. It's a bit wobbly, but it's also, it's weird. It's wobbly, but also jammed in there and never coming out, which makes no sense at all, but hey. You do realise, John, as well, you're, for the rest of time now, condemned to dress like Father Christmas at Christmas because you've got the beard. Good stuff, innit? I have less of a beard, more of a refusal to shave. I fully go with that. I've started shaving again. I've got my little beard, but I used to just let it grow out over weeks and months. I'd like shave off the sides once every, like, I don't know, 3 months because I'm lazy, but I've started just shaving every other day now. Right, need to get back to it before my boss notices. Catch you all later. Stay safe, says Crystal Tips. Keep forgetting the name. Thank you for coming in there, buddy. Much, much appreciated. Take care, and here's hoping the boss doesn't catch you. Right, so that's that bit. That concludes issue whatever this was. Issue 62. 62. So next, can you guess what the next one is? Yes, it's 63. And in this one, we're doing the bonnety goodness. So let's put this to one side. We'll clean that windscreen and stuff will be fully cleaned before it goes onto the chassis eventually. But it doesn't do any harm to keep these things clean as you work on them. You'd be clean, Marine. I can't remember what screw that was now. NM, I think. Num. For num. Right, Right, so next, issue 6 and 3, 63. Big metal bonnet, Geparton. Let's get it open. Something satisfying you get about getting these big metal body parts. I nearly said armour panels then, because I'm so used to like things that have armour panels and not body parts. Body parts, you come bouncing back to me, he said, singing differently for copyright reasons. Got some pistons, oh, they're metal, jolly good. Actual metal hinges. Hinge. Tony'd like that, hinge. I honestly remember the last time I actually handled or touched a metal hinge of any kind. Just adjusting my chair, 1 second. So we have the bonnet, yeah, which looks a bit warped. I'm going to be honest. We'll see. We'll see. You never know with these things, do you? Looks a little bit spunky. It's not the kind of thing you can easily bend back into shape, but we'll see. We'll not worry about it yet. I'm sure it'll be fine. So, what do we do? Step 1, make the thing. Step 2, stand back and admire your handiwork. Ja, das ist richtig. I love the way the bonnet goes on with just a bog standard hinge. Just a hinge. Right, PM screws. Do I need to keep PM screws? And KM and AM. AM I've got. KM I've got. PM I have not. Okay, so I need to keep the bag for PM. Post-meridian, anti-meridian. Screw there, we'll put that there. AM there. Knife. All the bits of prep you do, get things ready. AM screws in there. We shall put that one in there. KM screws in there. Yes, feel free to inject conversation points into the chat, folks, because it gives me something to talk about. Otherwise, I'll just sit here sticking my tongue out while I work. And that's not good viewing, not really. It's not good for you, that. Oh, Fester's in. He says, are we there? Yep. Hey, Fester, big hugs to you, my friend. Thank you for coming along. Hello, hello, hello. As opposed to unhinged, says Bill. When you finish this, you'll have to take it out to the highway and get it up to 88 miles an hour, just in case. Yes. With nothing flammable nearby, though. How are you doing, Fester? How are you doing, my friend? Swig of coffee. Oh. Hey. La, 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 la. You missed the start, Fester. We had, of course, the traditional technical nonsense. Started the stream and my broadband decided to not be cooperative, so I had to stop and restart and drop the bit rate. And yeah. Right, so this is going to go KM screws. No. What size are these tiny little things? What screwdriver do I want? That one will do just fine, I think. KM screws, and we want a hinge with. Goes this way. Which way? That way. Okay, so these go on here like that. Oh, lovely little things. Delightful little fellows. Am I on camera? Yes. You probably can't see any of this, but hey. One of those. I love the way that the bonnet is this big heavy metal thing that's held in place by these significantly insubstantial, flimsy little hinges. Great stuff. Little sort of photo etch, almost. Probably steel, I would guess, or aluminium. Yeah. Dodge had like these big die cast hinge things on them. Had to detail a DeLorean once. It was very cool. I mean, I did at that point. I wasn't doing the detail. I was doing the interior. So when I say detail, I mean, I had to do the interior. The other guy did the actual detailing, and the chap came in. He says, "Oh yeah," he said, "I wonder how much would it cost to get a machine polished." And we both looked at this guy and we're like, "Machine polished?" He said, "Yeah. I want to get it machine polished." I said, and we were like, "It's brush aluminium. It's brush metal. It's like brushed steel or aluminium, whatever it is. It's stainless steel. It's supposed to look like brushed steel. It's you don't machine polish bare metal. It's supposed to have that brush look." He said, "The best we can do is put a coat of wax on it. That'll we'll charge you 50 quid for that coat of wax, and we can make the inside look nice." Really? He said, "Yeah, there's nothing else to do. It's you can't machine polish bare metal. It's completely pointless. You'll lose the texture which it comes with." Oh, yeah. You've not had this car long, have you? No, I only got it last week. Ah, yeah. Bless him. Right, now we have the little widgets. Which go... I don't actually need the gloves for this bit, but I've got them on now, so... AM, which goes there. No, there. AM, which is marked L. So that goes there. Ooh, very nice. AM screw. I'm not doing too bad. That I thought I'd be struggling with the morning slot, but I'm doing all right. I'm adjusting nicely to my morning schedule. It will be nice to get back to, actually getting up at a normal human being time. Make sure these are straight. Plastic bits, so I don't want to go too insane with them. I need to make sure the straight's Foxx, which he totally didn't. I'm guessing these are some sort of armature or piston mount. Apologies if all you can see at the top of my head. Need the bit you full. This bit up. It is funny how I've actually depended mostly on the screws from the Dodge Charger, the screwdrivers, in this build than the ones they actually give you. Unless I need a specifically big chunky handle to turn. I've done more with these. And these are little cheap crappy ones, but you know what? They're great. Right, that's that one done. What's the chat doing? Oh. Bill says, "We're not at the bench broom noises yet." Vesta says, "Yeah, I'm still up, Bill." Aw. Tell that part of your brain that I'll grass it up to Auntie Winnie. Bill said, "Yeah, I decided to forego sleep too." And here we go. Right, so we have to install the pistoniums, which are actually, I think, metal. Oh! Oh! Zip, pew, zip, zip. Telescopular. Oh! Fantabulous. Right, so these fix one of the arms inside the hood in position shown with a PM screw. Oh, I see, it's just that way. Right. I was about to say which end, but it's fairly obvious because one end's the thinner bit. PM screw which goes in there. Okay. I'm going to guess you don't want to do these too tight because you want them to be movable. in there. AM. That was a KM, wasn't it? KM can go in there. PM could go in here like this, you see. I need to keep the bag though because I haven't got a slot for PMs. So this goes in there, and we need to get a screw ready. This has got a little washer built into it, so it's obviously going to be holding it in place quite nicely. That sits in there. So I'm not going to want to do it too tight because it's going to need some rotation, I suspect. On camera? Yeah. Apologies, it's so far away at this point. We are, of course, doing small things. That doesn't need to be tight at all. As long as it holds it in place permanently, that's all you need to. It needs to do. Cool. Und also the order. I do love it when a plan comes together. So imagine if I'd streamed the wiring section, doing all the wires and wires and things and fake wires in the cockpit. Oh, it wouldn't have been enjoyable. I would have been sweating. It would have been the X-Wing wings all over again. No. No. Would not have been enjoyable, that. At least this is just screwing things together. I can cope with that. There we go. That's not coming out ever. Right, that's those two. This is how your assembly should look at the completion of this stage. It looks like that, you'll see. Ooh. I'm a little worried about it being not exactly 100% not warped, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Right, so if push came to shove and the bonnet was slightly warped and out of shape, you just display it with the bonnet out for whatever reason to show off. I don't know, the spare wheel, I guess. Right, what's next? What time are we on? Oh yeah, 12. We'll probably go to what? I don't know whether to go to 1 or 2 actually. We'll see how it goes. Oops. La 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 la. Frame for the hood of your DeLorean. Okay. And there's a cable. I think it's a fake cable though. Yes. Good. Right. Frame for... Oh, it's a plastic frame. Okay. Let's put the hood over there. Sounds weird, I know, but I can't really... I don't feel right calling the bonnet on an American car a bonnet. Because it's an American car. It's like, it should really be a hood. There we go. PM, because I haven't got your PM screw slot, so that can stay in the bag. So what have we got in this one? We have the pack open. A wire. Oh, it's a real wire. Ooh. I think it's for the hood light. That's that bit. Blade safety at all times. Widget down there. Come on, out you come. Get out. Oh. Tasks me, and I shall have it. Got this one here. Got the frame and the little bit of wire. Get off. There we go. Always check to make sure there's nothing stuck. It wouldn't be, there's been more than once that I've sat there and I've had to go back and pull the plastic thing out of the box because there's a tiny component that I can't find and it's still in the plastic thing. Yeah. Right, so what have we got screw wise? We've got these little bits here. Some plastic, some tape, black tape, bit of wire. And many screws, many screws. These are AM screws, I've got millions of those. All right. So what do we do? Step 1. Push the hood catch into position at the edge of the frame as shown. It'd be good if that was metal and that could actually screw in and force the bonnet into shape. But right, so I'll push the hood catch, not actually screw it. Oh, it's all plastic. Part of the frame, which is there as shown, which is that way. Has to go in a specific way, like that, does it? Okay, that's not the firmest of attachings. No, as you've just found out. I assume this gets held in place when it gets screwed to the hood panel and it stops coming out. Stops it from coming out. It's not the best fit in the world, but like I said, it'll have the metal piece behind it, so it's not going to come out anytime soon. Push the hood light part 64C into the centre part as shown with the... Now the thing about these Eagle Moss ones is they quite often don't actually always resemble the part you're looking at. For example, this light piece seems to have the entire end of it missing or broken off. It's fine, because I think that's where the wire goes. Yeah, if you look on here, it's got a flange on either side, but on the actual piece itself it has a flange on one side. And I assume that's because this side is where the wire comes in. Because you've got the channel for the wire there, so... Oops. So when if you get one, a form of Eagle Moss where it's all the grey rendered, just be aware that quite often what you're looking at doesn't quite match what you've got. It seems to be more prevalent in the Eagle Moss ones. Push the plug on the end, there's hood and the cable. Right, so the bulb is, it's a square bulb. Square bulb. What's that secret you're keeping? Yeah, there you go. You see, so since they've designed it where they had the full flange on either side, they've now realised that yeah, you have to have a bit missing because the bulb needs to go in there and it won't fit in there if there's a bit of flange on it. So that will go in there. Then this will sit in this channel like there, do you see? It says to use that tape. Oh, I know what I can do. I've got some electrical tape, and what I might do is actually use that if this other tape is not very good. I need to bend this lamp down a bit, don't I? I need to bend that. It's always dubious when you're bending the connection points for lights, but sometimes it just has to be done. Right, so they want me to use the sticky tape to hold that in place. There we go. Where are my tweezers? Quite often this tape they give you is actually pretty good. Heavy duty. I need a knife actually because that's far too small. Daddy, I need a knife. Small family joke there. You won't get it. Right, so this needs to go over the wire. Yeah. Make sure that's pushed in. Get that there, nice and tight. Make sure it's in the channel, dear boy. Just hold it all in place. A bit of wire in there isn't quite bent out of the way, but I don't want to bend it too far. There's a screw hole it needs to be clear of, you see, so should always be clear of your screw holes. It's a good life lesson. What I might do is put a little bit of tape over that. It doesn't say to do that, but it might just be good practice to do that. So I've got some tape over here on the side actually. Little tiny piece. And electrical tape. Just to keep that in place. Also acts as a little bit of light, not that it needs light blocking, but it just, it's a bit too small, that piece. it just helps, hopefully helps hold that bulb in place a little bit. I mean, it'll be in place permanently once it gets screwed down, but onto the bonnet, but it doesn't do any harm just while I'm fettling. Also means I can bend that again now, a bit more. Now going to get squashed, I can see it, but that's probably how it's meant to be. And then this one goes like round the corner, like that, and is held in place with the other piece of tape. How you doing, Fester? How's your day going so far? This goes like that. Apparently. It's not actually the right shape or size at all. But never mind. What? There we go. There. So that's that in place. Now this, of course, will just screw onto the hood, and that will keep all those wires in place anyway. I'm going to guess that's the next step. Oh, yes, there we go. Right, so make sure the latch goes back in. Make sure the latch goes in the right way. Which was that way. For my own sanity, because this is going to ping out every 3 seconds, I'm just going to put, it might not actually, we'll see. I'm going to put a bit of tape on the back of it, but it might be all right. Right, so where did I put the hood? There. So it wants me to put it this way around. Slide the frame into position on the hood, blah, 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 blah. We need to get these hinges out of the way, don't we? Which way? Hinges. Oh, it's that way. It's that way around. Of course, because the hood latch is at the other end. It's all the wrong way around on this bonnet. That sits in there. That sits on there. That sits on there. How does that attach? Okay. So what we're going to do, with the wire there, that's fine. So we need 4 AM screws. Make sure all the holes are aligned. Holes are aligned. This is where you find out if the metal bit is warped. I think that's all in. We'll know when the screws go in. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 AM screws. AM screws. Quick look at chat. I think it could actually be. Where are we? John's off says, have a great day, gotta go. Vesta says, stay safe and well, John Miles. Take care, John. Thank you very much for coming in and for your kindness. You're very kind, sir. I think it could actually be corned beef and Branston pickle sandwich time. Be right back, says Bill. Oh, I really want corned beef and sandwich now. Hey, do you know what I had last night for a snack? I need to clear my throat, 1 sec. For the first time in a long time, I actually had a crisp butty last night. I was there, I was starving. I'm like, I want something to eat. I've got some crisps, but I want something to eat that's most substantial. I've got bread. Oh, crisp butties. Done. It took me all of like a millisecond to convince myself that it was the right thing to do. Cheese, onion, crisps. It was 50-50 bread, but it doesn't really matter. 50-50 bread. Big dot of Olivio olive spread. I was happy, happy, happy. Okay, 1. 2. Apologies if you're seeing the back of the head. Missing. Oh, excuse me. It's gone warm all of a sudden. I've got the heating on, but only downstairs for my water heat, because upstairs stays quite cool. So, because she's thousands of years old, I have to make sure she's warm. I've got the radiator on downstairs, but not upstairs. But it does end up warming up here a little bit as a result. So, yes. So my plan for today will be phoning the broadband people and shouting at them, obviously. Yeah, great fun. Oops, stabby. Make sure that's it. Are you going in, my friend, or are you being a pain? You're being a pain, aren't you? Find your hole. There we go. Just need to clear my throat. One sec. Ooh, something got a really dry, tickly cough there. From nowhere. It came from nowhere. Get this one in. That all went. Seems to have all gone quite well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 2 in the middle as well. We'll get them all in loosely and then I'll tighten them up. Now, word of advice if you're making this one. When you're doing the wiring that goes in the driver compartment, you need to be acutely aware that there are 2 wires that go into the wiring board. Wire number 6 and wire number 9. For some reason, I don't know why, for some reason they don't mark them so you know which one's 9 and which one's 6. But, because they've just noticed this one here has got a little line under the 9. But when you're putting them all together, and you're putting the wires into the motherboard, little circuit board, the plugs only go in one way to the board, and the numbers are all aligned the same way. And it will become very obvious if you've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 is upside down, that you've actually got the 9 in the place. So just be careful when you're doing the wiring on that little motherboard and you're putting all the wires in. They're not marked as 6 and 9, but it is fairly straightforward. You'll realise one's the other way up. So if you do that, and your 6 and 9 are one way up, just switch them around. I'm assuming anyway, I mean, that's my assumption, using common sense. It might not be the case, but they don't give you any indications, so I'm going to have to cough again in a second. Right, that's these in. And as always, there's always one screw that doesn't want to tighten up too much, but it's fine. Tickly cough. Super match game. You always get one screw that just goes in halfway and then freewheels. But hey, it's in. The jittery hands going on today. Make sure these are all in. I'm just going round one by one and tightening them all a bit each time, just because you don't want to stress plastic by tightening one side and not the other. That was never going to do anything. Yeah, if I tightened all these down on one side first, your piece of plastic's bent now, and you try and bend it down, you're stressing it. Just go slowly. Right, so that is the hood there at that stage. I need to blow my nose a little bit. Oh. There. 1 second. Sniffly nose. Because the lights are on. Bill says, back. I thought you'd be finished by now. Here comes the blue smoke. Blue smoke? I've not been thinking. I try not to think. I need some coffee. Oh. Right, so that's the bonnet. Now it says, oh, you've got to put it actually onto the thing. Ooh. Oh, right, okay. Actually get to install the hood now. Move these out of the way, because now we need to get the bits. There's too many things, too many things. I need to do it from the underside, don't I? It's always from the seamy underbelly, these things. And it has to go the wrong way around because that's how bonnets work on this car. So let's just be very careful of the windscreen. So let's put the hood on this way. Making sure the wires and things aren't getting trapped anywhere. What's going on here? Oh, it's the hinges are in the way. Hinge. Put my hinge in a bit. Pull your hinge in, lad. Hinge. You're a hinge. You're made of hinges. Right, there we go. That's that one. Got hinge being awkward. Nothing worse than an awkward hinge. Knew a girl like that once. What are you doing? What are you doing? Stay on target. Stay on target. Switch all deflectors to front things. Okay, right. Okay, that's that in there. I think. Now we turn it over with the turning of the over. I get it now. So we need some AM screws. I've just moved that screwdriver, didn't I? I'll just double check the instructions. One of these ones where you've got to juggle 3 sets of hands. Yeah, AM screws, there we go. I'm not going to bother with the oil now because I'm too busy holding everything in place. We'll just have to wing it. Risk it for a biscuit and hope for the best. That's the wrong screwdriver. That's the wrong screwdriver, grommet. Or is it? Well, it is for that screw. Oh, there we go, see, ping. That hinge has been a right hinge. Right, you stay there for a minute. Come on now. I've got a windscreen to be careful of. Don't be messing me around. Right, there we go. No, we don't. Yes, no, we don't. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. Right, what's going on here? Come on. In you go, lad. You had it before. Come on. You can do it. We believe in you. What is going on here? Right, let's turn it over again. You'd think it'd be dead straightforward, but it's actually a little bit tricky, this. That hinge was quite tight earlier. Now it's really loose. I don't think hinge was the right word there, was it, Fox? Really? Come on. Are you in? You're not in. No, because they don't line up at all. Come on. Ooh, it's quite tricksy. What's going on here? Trying desperately not to go anywhere near my windscreen. This hinge again. Right. You. One half of the year. Your sister, the other half of the year. Don't worry, I get that. You won't, I do. Right, now we have it. Oh, it was right. Oh, you were there then. You were just right. Right, stay there. Don't move. Do not move, you little git. Stay right where you are. As long as I can get the first screw. There we go. Ah, got you now. Who's your daddy now, huh? With your wobbling and your wiggling and your nonsense. Yeah, I didn't think so. You're all meat and 2 veg while you're anonymous on the internet, but as soon as you actually get going with it, you're no threat at all, are you? Yeah, I told you. In you go. There. Ah, got you now. You're locked. I will say there's been no real major fiddly things on this build so far, aside from I can use oil on these now because I'm not balancing things. Aside from when I was setting up all the wiring into the motherboard, the little circuit board, you kind of had to have the whole chassis at some funky angles for that, just so you could see what you were doing. because you're trying to get all these little plugs into the motherboard while it's round the back of the passenger seat and behind the firewall. It's like, it's a little bit tricky, but it's doable. And you've got kind of the firewall half lifted up, and so yeah, you'll have some fun with that, but it's not that bad. And the fake wiring around the dashboard and stuff, again, it looks really fiddly and stuff, but it's actually not that bad. My big worry with that is you don't know how far wires need to pull out from one end, because it's just like you loop it from, you basically thread a wire from the inside of the dashboard around the body area and then out the back, and they're not functional wires, so it doesn't actually matter, but they need to reach far enough to stick into something at the other end, and you never know how much to leave. But the actual diagrams are pretty good for that, so you'll be fine. It's not too bad. Oh, that's the wrong size. I need a slightly different screwdriver just to tighten these up. Now I need to make sure these are tight as, because this is the hinge and I can't have nonsense going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my screwdriver set, which is somewhere. Where is it? I don't even know where it is. I don't know why I went, oh, there it is. I don't know why I went all lispy then. If I remember rightly, there's a link to this screwdriver set on my Amazon page, link in the description below. Or not, if not this one very similar, it's in my Amazon store. It's quite a good set. It's really handy for when you've got a tough screw. Now, I would have had an easier time with these screws if I put some oil on them, but on the outer two I couldn't do that. So yeah, that one's in. Oh, shaky hand. Yeah. Well, I was worried that the bonnet was warped, but it seems to be all right. It looked wrong. Get this screwdriver in the screw head. There you go. It looked wrong. One end seemed to be curving up a little bit, but I think it's actually all right. So turn that over. Okay, well that end isn't quite as flush. I don't know if you'll see on camera. See on camera there, that end isn't quite as flush as that end. It's not the end of the world. Say if absolutely necessary, you could always display it with the hood open. I could possibly have bent it into place, but I'm not manly enough to bend actual steel, I don't think. Yeah, not quite. It's also, it's kind of sits forward that way a bit. You can see it's got some play in it, but that might just be the hinge. Let's just have a look at this angle. It might just be the hinge being awkward. It might sit perfectly in place once the rest of the body shell's around it. You have to remember, of course, I've just got it loosely placed on the frame for now. So don't worry too much. Don't worry too much, my friend. It'll be fine. Right, so that goes there. La 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 la. So it's not a bonnet, it's a tenob. Yeah, because it's the wrong way around. Yeah, I don't like calling bonnets bonnet on the American car. It doesn't seem right. And I will be honest, being a complete traitor to the British here, I actually prefer the name hood and trunk than bonnet and boot. I don't know why. It's more awesome if you ask me. Right, so that's those in. When I did the Dodge, the driver's door was a bit warped and didn't quite fit properly, but what I had to do was put a little bit of a plastic shiv underneath the hinge and when I was hanging the door, and just that was fine. Still didn't fit perfectly, but you don't notice it. You won't notice it. Right, so that's that. Got 2 AM screws to police. Gentlemen, police your screws. 1, 2 AMs. Money, 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 money. Put them there so that getting used. Right, next issue is issue 65, I think. Yes. What we're doing in issue 65, we are attaching the wheel well thing. I mean, like I say, you could display it with the hood open, but all you're going to see is the spare wheel compartment and the luggage raise. It's not that interesting, I guess. We've got to make the strap that holds it in. Cool. Right, let's get this assemblated. I don't think we need this just yet, so I'll move that out the way. It's getting heavy. I'll move that out the way. Hopefully soon get to the point where I can store the frame on the actual chassis loosely, not attached. That's when life gets a bit easier. That's the wrong one. Where's the... I've just put the magazine down, literally, somewhere. There we go. Right, so 65. Get all that down there. And this is not the best way to open these things, but I can't rest it on the sponge thing because I'll break the sponge thing. There you've got the luggage rack and some strappings. I always like a nice strap. Wait, stop. Something was said. Carefully, but not carefully at all, get all the bits out. See that up there, hiding in the corner? Come on, down you come. It's been awkward. I'm going to have to cut that way, aren't I? Oh. Curse you, I say. Let's get you from that end. I shall approach it from the other end. There we go. Nothing left in that. Good. Ooh, nice strap. I like these seat belts and the like heavy duty straps we've got. They're quite good. So we have many screws. Many screws. What have we got? GP. Don't have those. BP we've got. DM we've got. DP we have. Okay, so I need to keep that bag for the GP screws. I'll leave the DPs in the bag. I've only got 2 of them, so I have to put them into a tray. DM need to get out. Get out. DMs. Oh, DM! A bit of a reference there. Hey, if you've never watched the rebooted Danger Mouse series that came out a few years ago, I do recommend it. It's really good. It is actually excellent. They did a good job. It looks fantastic, and I have to say, I watched it on the BBC iPlayer. Oh, Danger Mouse. And then if you then go back and watch the original Cosgrove Hall, those rose-tinted glasses of your youth fall away very quickly, and you realise how bad both the artwork and the animation on the original Cosgrove Hall series was. It's like really bad. It's like, ooh. We used to think it was good when we were kids. It's not. It's terrible. It's like badly drawn, cheaply animated schlock. Oh, it wasn't Cosgrove Hall's finest hour. Right. So we have our microwave meal tray. You get your mashed potato or your peas in there, piece of meat or fish, and this is the slop area. I don't know what I'm talking about. 65B and 65C plus the edge strip. Okay, which is which? Okay, I need to know which one's which. I don't know. I need to pay attention to this now. It just says edge strip. Doesn't give you any indication as to... Oh, I see. That is roughly looking on the thing. That's 65B. That must therefore be 65C. So that's B and C. So B is that side. That makes no sense. B is that side. Entirely possible I have these the wrong way around. That doesn't seem like it fits the right way around. That's the wrong one. Is it the right one? Oh, it is the right one. It's the wrong way around. There we go. That goes that way. Come on now, lads. You're putting a piece of plastic into a hole. It's not that hard. It's not rocket surgery, Fox. Okay, so that is the wrong one. Ah, that's good. Right. Right, they've made these chiral so the pins only fit on the right one. So you have to make sure that angled chamfer bit there is pointing outwards. And this one, 2 holes, 2 pins. The other one, the pin's in the wrong place. It won't fit. Because it's really hard to tell which is which, as you've just seen from the picture in the magazine. So it's good they've made them completely different. I thank you, Eagle Moss. As was. We need 6 biapia screws. Biapia. Biapia. La, 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 la. Just popping out to get a prescriptions. They just texted me. We'll be right back. Yeah, it'll be here for a while. You know me. Once I pop, I can't stop. Ooh, that sounds wrong. We'll see how we're doing. Might at least finish this pack, maybe. If not, do more. I can take my gloves off now. I don't need these gloves on, do I? What's the next issue? What am I doing in the next one? Right, well, what I'll do, we're coming up to 1 o'clock. What I'll do is I'll get this issue finished. Get my gloves off and dry my hands. I'll get this issue finished, then we'll probably call it a day for now. And then we'll carry on, I guess, on Monday now. From where we left off. Right. So, BRPR screws. Maybe slightly bigger screwdriver. That's a slightly smaller one. Yes. Am I putting the screws in the right place? Yes. Yes. Still going, still streaming? Yes, jolly good, jolly good. Yeah, when I first started the stream, it was at 1440p. It was like hundreds of drop frames, and I'm like, oh, why? So I checked my speed, and it's like, I checked the speed before, and it was fine, but I checked my upload speed, it was 7 meg. I'm like, what? It's supposed to be like 14 to 15. So I rebooted. That did no good. So it's going to be a case of, hopefully they can sort it, because I can't stream gameplay, video gameplay, in like 10 in. There goes that screw. Luckily we get spares. I want to be streaming gameplay in 1080p because I need the codecs. But I can't stream 1440p if I'm dropping like 30% of my frames. It's like, come on now. And what I'm hoping is it's not just that's the speeds I get in the morning, because that really knackers a morning slot live stream, doesn't it? Yes. We shall see. We shall see. Right, so that's the trim piece. Ooh, Mr. Trim Piece. I didn't see you there, Mr. Trim Piece. That's a real carry-on name, isn't it? Ernest Trim Piece. That's a proper carry-on name. Right. So, 65 C in place with 3 BRPR screws. No, that's the wrong one. Hood lock into place and fix with 2 GP screws. Yeah. BRPR. Fix the hood lock into place, which goes there. That just sits on there like that, and there's 2 GP screws. Ooh, lovely. GP. There's only 3 of these in the bag, so it's just 2 that I need and 1 spare. I need 2 of you lads. There we go. I didn't need the big card, thank you. Oh no, I've got oh, okay. They give you 4 GP screws and you actually need 4 GP screws. That's very rare. No spare. Right, Fox, you can't be dropping any of these then, mate. You got to use these, use what you got. No dropping allowed. Get out moustache. Be very, very careful. Right, so this goes there with the slit up at the top. Oops. So you need to go in there. Am I doing for picture? Am I though? Yes, I'm in shot. Yeah, the problem with streaming video game stuff at 1080p or less than 1440p, as I've said before many times, there's 2 different codecs on that on YouTube. There's the AV1 and VP9. AV1 is garbage, and if you're doing like a fast moving game, everything's just pixel blocking and macro blocking. It's horrible. It's a mush. But as soon as you get to 1440p, by default they give you the VP9 codec, which resolves the image and compresses it much less harshly, so it looks much smoother. You don't get all this macro blocking and pixelized nonsense when you move the camera anywhere. It's only like not that long ago that I realised when I had my old PC it could actually do 1440p. I'm like, oh wow, I can do decent quality. So my early game stuff is like really blocky and horrible. You don't want to really stream game stuff at 1080p. Where are we? Oh, Jeff is in. Jeff, Candygram from Mongo. Oh, one. I can't do this like Festa. The one, the only, inimitable, indefatigable, indescribable, inflammable, I don't know. Jeff, Candygram from Mongo, our very own resident Carl Sagan, says, hi, gurufoxx, Bill Festa, John Nolan chat. Looks like I arrived just in time for the end. We'll go for a bit longer, don't worry. And of course, because it's Jeff, because he is our Carl Sagan, I have to do my Carl Sagan quote. Those afraid of the universe as it really is, those who pretend to non-existent knowledge and envision the cosmos centered on human beings, will prefer the fleeting comforts of superstition. They avoid rather than confront the world, but those with the courage to explore and weave in structure of the cosmos, even where it differs profoundly from their wishes and prejudices, will penetrate its deepest mysteries. There you go. That's my Carl Sagan quote for you, Jeff. Thank you very much. Yeah, big hugs to you. How are you doing, Jeff? I didn't know if I'd see you today because this is an early slot, so it's a late night slot for you, this. Or very early morning. I guess you're between 6 and 8 hours behind, so it's like 3 in the morning for you or something? 4? 2? Certainly a number of some sort. Right, I need to get this piece, which they do not name or give it a name in the actual magazine. They just call it the part whatever. So it means it doesn't actually have an official name, or they just didn't bother finding out. To me, it's the cover where the fuel and water, oil and water go, really. But push it into place. I'm pushing. I've got to push it up and under, up and under. There'll be some crying in the showers tonight. Oh, 1980s sport commentator references that no one will get outside the UK. Ah, there we go. Clickety clack. That's not in the back. Oh, yeah. Well, it's a tight fit. Jeff says, wow, what an intro. Morning here now and all's well. He's been a member for 39 months. Thank you for being a member for 39 months, Jeff. You make it all worth it. If ever there was anyone that should do live streams, it's Jeff with his dulcet radio voice. Ah, there we go. You have to give it a good push and a flip and a push and a tumble. Lift one bit up and push one bit back, and you would go like that as well once. You've got to get the sticky out bit over the lip of the thing. It's not as easy as it sounds. Yeah, so we're restarting Far Cry 5 tomorrow, assuming all goes well. Again, I know this isn't behaving at all. I know I've already done some Far Cry 5, but that was patrons only, because at the time I couldn't monetize it and I couldn't do it on YouTube without getting copyright strikes. Oof, this is tough. Cookie, come on now, lads. Be nice to me. Come on, in you go. In one. In one. This is not cooperating. Come on now. Get in. How hard could it be? Come on now. How does this even... Are you telling me... Really? There's me. The first picture it shows is that. So I instinctively thought you push it in from the... No. Instead of trying to get... No, you just... You just do that. Ah! My name's Fox and I'm very, very special. Right, GP screws. I don't even know what I was talking about now. Oh. Yes, but now I can play it on PC with mods. I can take all the copyright music out. Now the downside is, obviously I've removed all the licensed music like the Led Zeppelin and all the other kind of rock stuff that's in there that on radios. When you walk past anything with radio, so all those have been turned off. So I'm not going to get any strikes for that. The problem is, all the music that plays at the enemy outposts, all the sort of Christian propaganda music or the cult propaganda music, is also copyrighted for some dumb reason. So that goes. And also, when you turn that music off at the outposts, all the propaganda speeches by the family seed also go. So you lose something in the translation there. You lose that atmosphere. So what I'll probably do is post links to that music stuff separately so people can listen to it to get a feel for what it would sound like. Because it's so atmospheric. You know, you walk up to this outpost and there's the propaganda music playing, which is really catchy. And the commentary from the seed family. It's like, to lose that is such a shame. Right, that's that bit in. Okay, so now we need to make a string. The string is the thing. Bring the two ends of the spare wheel belt together. Pass the free end through the first slot in the buckle. Got a nice, I don't know if you'll see on camera, it's a nice proper like seatbelt texture to it, this one. Right, so this needs to be that way, that way, that way with the, just that way around, because it shows you the actual sewn fold where the thing folds over. They do a very good job actually showing the actual fold. So that's the inside, so that needs to come around. And I suck at things like this. It goes, no, it goes through there. I mean the tweezers for this. It's got a frilly thing on the end. So hang on. I'm doing needlework now. So you get all the things on this channel. That way. Moisten the end with my mouth. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh, it shows the sewn side on that side, but on this side it shows it on that side, but that's not right, is it? No. Ah, well. It shows that this side should have that sewn side on there and the same on that, but it's not. It's the other way around. It's not the end of the world. It doesn't actually matter. Right, so that needs to go. I'm assuming we don't actually put a spare wheel in the spare wheel thing. I need my tweezers. Unfortunately, this piece of material is actually significantly thicker than the thing you're pulling it through. That's going to be interesting. I don't want to pull it apart by pulling on it, but there's that. almost. No, I'm just pulling loose threads out there, you see. Interesting. Do this bit later off camera, because I'm sure you don't want to watch me sit here fettling with this thing for 20 minutes. Trying to get it to go through a tiny hole. I might have to widen those holes a little bit, perhaps. Oh, look at that, it's unwinding. That's not good. Hang on. Get my knife and take that thread out. We've got exploding thread. There we go. If this was like one of those paper, like seatbelt type things, it'd probably be a lot easier. But it's fraying at the end. That's not good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that to one side. I'll sort that out later, because I'm going to have to sit and see it's all fraying. I'll just sit and figure that out, I think. Maybe widen those holes, or do something to put that together. In the meantime, take the assembled upper car frame and the luggage compartment in the interior place as shown. Okay, so let's move these out of the way. I'll put that there for now. But the worst comes to the worst, if that thread doesn't go through, I can make my own out of some card or paper and fettle it up, or just not include it. We'll sort that out later anyway. Right, so it needs to go in the luggage compartimenti. Do it this way so you can see what I'm doing. Being careful of the windscreen, of course. I'll take the luggage compartment. It's where I just wrote it. It needs to go in this way, I think. Oops. I'm just guessing where that's going now. Let's actually look at the instructions and see what it says. Oh no, wrong end, you spoon. Oh, I'm not used to cars with this stuff at the wrong end. None of it makes sense. Right, so that goes there. So it was the wrong end, yes. I'm trying to put the luggage compartment in the boot where the engine goes. Oh. Like I said, my name's Foxx. That sits there. Okay, this is fairly... Oh, hang on. What do we do with these pistons? Oh, I see. Okay, that's cool. So those pistons are just push fit, really. Alrighty then. Pistons down like that. Right. Get it to fit will be nice, first of all. Come on now. Stay on target. Stay on target. I think we have to put the bonnet like that for now. That needs to go. A little lip there. There we go. There we go. Lovely. Right, so we need to fix that in place with 4 DM screws. DM. Oh, DM. Right, so for this we can use the oils. Oops. Always don't drop all the screws. That would be a bad thing. How you doing, Jeff? How's tricks, matey? How's the pupper? So I'll put these in loosely. They are metal screws into metal, but they are pushing down on the plastic of the luggage compartment, so we shall be very gentle. Tighten them in sequence, as you do. Apologies that all you're seeing is my arm, probably. Yeah, I'll sort that strap out later and figure something out. I'll widen the holes a little bit and see if I can pull it through. Worst comes to the worst, I can make a strap out of something else that's thinner and colour it, because in reality I'm probably not going to have the hood open anyway. I'm not going to be... If you've not seen this part work, they give you the whole car But then they also give you, after that, you get all the bits to make the railroad version, so you can change the wheels and you can put the stuff on the bonnet. I'm not going to do that because I don't like it with the railway wheels. I like the thing on the bonnet, but I'm not keen on the thing. Railway wheels, if I'm honest. But the reality is I probably won't have the hood open anyway, so it's not the end of the world if I can't make that strap. It's not going to work. Let's try one of these. I just need a bigger screwdriver to give me a bigger, grippier screwdriver. Nope, that's the wrong size. That's his nithristig. Try the big dobber. That might work. No. Okay, let's try my screwdriver. But let's switch out for the slightly bigger bit. This is just for the tightening now. Would you please take to the dance floor for the tightening? Hey. There we go, that's better. I don't want to go too tight, but I want to be tight enough it's not going to start pinging out everywhere. Yes, it would be nice if when they give you like the windows and things, they gave you like a bit of film on it that you can pull off right at the end to protect it from scratches and stuff, but they never seem to do that. Right, there we go. That's those 4 screws in. So, what we need to do now is attach the pistons. Yeah, that's it. Mistaken. Okay, I've got it. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to... Basically, you just push the pistons into these little holes. And that's how you attach those. But because I'm going to be fettling with the string that goes in here, I'm not going to put them in yet because I need to make sure I can get the bonnet open and get to that string to fettle with it. Although, does it screw in? I can't remember now. Yeah, it does screw in, so I need to be able to make sure I can get in there with a screwdriver and do that. So I'm not going to put these in yet because I don't want to... These are slightly flanged, so once they go in, they're not going to come out again. So I shall leave them unhooked for now. Clean this when it's done. Now the one thing I will say about this, it's not bad, but it's not... This is meant to look like brushed aluminium or steel, stainless steel, whatever the thing's made of. It's not. It's probably aluminium, I think, but whatever it is, and it's painted to look like brushed steel. It's like painted in, you know, you do a thin coat and you get the streaky lines. That's what they've gone for to get that brushed effect, which is fine, but it does get fingerprinty. And it's a shame because it would have been even more awesome if they'd just done brush metal, because it would have looked fantastic. Maybe it would have looked out of scale though, I don't know. Right, so that's that bit done. We've built the stowage area. I think what we'll do, I will need to fiddle with that seatbelt thing. So I think what we'll do is, just as Dorkosaurus turns up, hello people of Foxx, hey Dorka, welcome, welcome. I think we'll call it there. We've got done a couple of hours, couple and a half hours, that's not bad. Apologies for the nonsense at the start. I'm really, really hoping that I can get the broadband sorted. It does put a little bit of a question mark on tomorrow's game stream though. If I can get the broadband sorted, we'll be up and running for tomorrow's game stream. If not, of course, I might just then, I don't know, cancel the game stream and do one of these instead. So we'll see how it goes for tomorrow. Something will happen, but whether it's a game or this, I don't know yet. Hopefully it's a game, because I want to play Far Cry 5 for you. But yeah, well, that's going to do us for now though. So yeah, welcome to the new series. Say not maybe every day, but as much daily as I can. And once we've got all these part works out of the way, we can start moving on to other things, painting and building. It's just a way for me basically to get to the bench and use that time, the little bit of free time I've got to get to the bench, get things painted and built. I've got a backlog of stuff I need to paint and build. I've got a backlog of stuff I need to paint and build and get on eBay because I need to make a living. That's the idea. So this gets me at the bench and building and painting them, and no excuses then, because I've got commitment to you to come and do these shows. So I can't back out of it. I can't get away because I'm useless. When it comes to motivation, even for, you know, earn a living, I'm just rubbish. So anything that helps me and forces me into it is a good thing. But that's going to do us for today. So I must massively thank you, everybody who's been watching, for joining me today. Thank you very much to John for the super chat. I really appreciated that. That'll help me out massively. Don't forget, of course, if you don't do so already, if you want to help support this channel and keep it alive, because this is what I do for a living and I depend on you guys for your support, you can become a patron or a channel member. You can go to patreon.com/gurufoxx, GURUFOXX, to support me that way, or you can become a channel member by pressing the join button under any of my videos. All the links to these are in the description below this video. There's also a link to Fanhome to buy this, and again, big massive thanks to Fanhome for providing me with this potwork free of charge, gratis, at no cost to me. All the opinions I've expressed are mine. They don't have any say in the creative process. It's all my opinions, but a big thank you to them for providing this. Lots of links down there for Patreon and memberships, also to my Amazon store and all the other places that are cool to go to, so make sure to hang out all of those. I will hopefully see, well, I will see you tomorrow morning, hopefully playing a game or not, and then I will be back on Monday for the E-Models show, for E-Models Monday. I don't know if we're doing a gallery show on Monday or a normal show, but we'll see you then, and I'll of course be back on Monday morning for another one of these, hopefully. So until then, I shall say thank you very much for joining me. Jeff says, good to see you back, Fox. Take care, everyone. Thank you very much, Jeff. It's good to be back. I've been fettling at the bench, waiting, sitting on my hands to come back because I've missed doing this. Real life got in the way and other things, but I've missed hanging out with you guys, and I miss doing the live. I like doing live streams. It gets me to the bench. I can waffle inanely and no one can stop me. And it's just awesome fun. Oh, Bill says, I really am a man of a certain age. I just walked to the chemist in my slippers for blood pressure medicine just to find they were closed for lunch, just like they always have been for the last 25 years. Well done. Well done. Do you literally live down the road to the chemist like in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where it says, I mean, you may think it's a long way down to the chemist at the end of your road, but going outside in your slippers, that's, yeah. I've got a pair of like cheap crappy deck shoes that I just slip on when I need to go outside, because I'm not lacing up my sneakers just to go around, because my chemist is around the corner. I'm not going to lace up my sneakers just to go around the corner. That's nonsense. Swig of coffee. Right, yes, anyway, I shall see you tomorrow, hopefully. Hopefully Far Cry 5. Hopefully you'll get to meet the family seed. I've just pressed a button on my phone, on my watch. I don't know what it was. What am I pressing? There we go. Yeah, because I think you'll enjoy Far Cry 5. It's kind of kick-ass. Anyway, until then, Bill says next door. All right, literally next door. Anyway, until then, folks, thank you very much again. Take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome like this. Go be awesome. And until next time, I shall say, adios, amoebas. I've got to press the button. Hang on. Where's the button?